Hi. This movie review was made for Pride Month because it is the gayest movie I saw as a kid. But at the time of the upload, it is past Pride Month. But I think it still applies because hey, you're not gay for only a month. And this is actually not a bad movie. To Wong Foo, Thanks for Everything, Julie Newmar. It stars Wesley Snipes, Patrick Swayze, and John Leguizamo. In drag. And I gotta admit, John pulls it off the best. Took me longer than I like to admit to realize that that was not a vagina-wielding warrior. Directed by Phyyn Kid Run. Cool name. Movie starts out with the three of our queens getting ready for NYC's Drag Queen of the Year pageant / contest. Wesley Snipes pulls in New Yorker. And then we fast forward to the end of the pageant, and bam there's a tie between Blade and Dirty Dancing. So they decide to send them both on a flight to California for the Drag Queen of America contest pageant. So I guess these were the locals and they've made it to nationals in sports terms. But what's this? There's a
little Latin boy drag his crown.
So Ghost and Rising Sun over here decide to take pity on the
Little Latin boy in drag.
Also, I should probably honor their characters. So here right now we have the trio united. It's Viva Boheme, Noxzema Jackson, and Chi-Chi. So Vita convinces Noxzema to let the depressed Miss Luigi tag along with them on a road trip to Cali instead of flying there. And to be honest, I would have sided with Noxzema. Honestly, best character of the whole movie. But hey, they agree to its road trip. So now they have to go sell their tickets and find a way. So they meet up with Robin Williams playing JJS. And he's like, what's going on? He exchanges their tickets for cash and sets them up with a place to get a car. And Rita gets inspired by a picture, thus giving us our title of our movie. And they immediately go to choose the worst car in the lot. One the person specifically said would not get you to California. Because
it comes down to that age-old decision, style or substance.
Which sounds fair if you're talking about art or a toy, but not a car. Anyways, they start driving with Cheese It on the map, Doris style, because this was made in the 90s, back in those good MapQuest days. If anyone knows how to use those. And their first little pit stop is Vita's old family home to get this action. Afterwards, Miss Roadhouse over here rips up the map because boss bitches apparently never get lost. So then they get lost. But not before starting some shit with Miss Sloth over here on what it truly means to be a drag queen, which apparently is
when a gay man has way too much fashion sense for one gender, he is a drag queen. Thank you.
And I have no opinions to add whatsoever. But at least it starts Chi-Chi's evolution from a boy in a dress to a drag princess. After driving aimlessly for a bit, they go make their first rest stop and argue over how to enter, whether or not they'll be accepted. Which they immediately are, as fellow members of the Ladies Basketball League, which also happens to be having an event there, giving them a great cover. And Noxzema does a little Joanna Man action. And then they're back on the road, jamming it out, until nightfall, when they realize how lost they are before getting pulled over by Mr. Dickhead Dillard, who lets them know that they're in some really racist and unsavory parts of the country. And in danger, Sheriff goes to level up his villain status, but is KO'd by Vita's "Hop off my junk, bruh." And since no one is a medical professional, they deduce that this motherfucker dead. And move on, stopping to change. But what's this? How unexpected. Arguing about the past course of events ensues. And Chi-Chi gets her drag status demoted by Vita once more. And decides, fuck you, my legs can get us some help. And finds handsome farmer boy number 1, who takes them to Snydersville. To rest and get their car fixed. Next morning, Mechanic V, to the Virgil, tells them they are stranded in the town for the weekend, waiting for a replacement part because their shit decision skills choosing a car. And we get to meet the new cast of characters as they just get eye fucked by the southern swine over here. Like, geez, dude, calm down. Like, I never want to be this thirsty in my life. Chi-Chi, you are not helping. They introduce themselves to the town people and vice versa. And if you think I'm gonna name all of them, goddamn right. Carol Ann, Beta Rice, Myrna, Katina, Clara, Loretta, Baba Ray, Baba Lee, Jimmy Joe, 2 thirsty boys, 1 through 8. Now that they've met the town and have to stay the weekend, they decide this town needs some character development. So they fashion up their place. As the corrupt Sheriff Dullard is found and woken by other cops. And Beat Rice gives the drama. Like, she's an alcoholic. He's got a stutter. She's old. Don't talk. But apparently will walk faster if chased after. Dodo Dillard gets mocked for his apparent assault and goes out to seek justice against those drag queens. One of which is being preyed upon by the 2 thirsty boys. Goddamn. Until Bobby Ray comes whooping around in that pickup truck, drifting on grass like a badass. And I'ma just skip this awful fake romantic plotline as I do not condone. I condone honesty. Not to offend anyone, but if you're gonna talk to them this seductively, they should at least know what's in between your legs, you know? It's kind of clear he don't understand. Which is a point the movie makes. So moving on. Vita uncovers some domestic abuse. And Vita also gives advice to a child. Noxzema begins bonding with the elderly over movies and their love of cinema. Dick Duck Dillard Donuts is making a gay list, and we see a little of that abuse that was alluded to earlier as the queens decide to help the town's people get ready for their town social called the Strawberry Social. And they decide to have a girls' day, get makeovers, but before that's complete, Rampage Noxzema Jackson over here confronts the leaning Larry Letchers, taking out their ringleader by the balls to get them to show some respect. So they do, and the makeover can now be completed with a fashion show alongside some more unpleasant business on this side of things. And Dullard's still tracking them down with his where to find a homos list as the townspeople develop more character development and start bettering themselves. By night, everyone's ready for the Strawberry Social. But wait, what's this? Bobby Ray wants to ask out Chi-Chi on a date to the social in front of poor little Bobby Lee, who goes off crying. So sad, cause she not the chosen one in a skip. Later on, back at the end, where the movie makes some excellent points, they argue once more over Vita's incessant need to help others. And oh boy, this one gets pretty heated.
Vita, you know, you're not a queen because you rule people or you sat on a throne, baby. You're a queen because you couldn't cut it as a man, so you had to put on a dress. That's why.
I'm not sure if those are fighting words, but Vita about to go do some well-deserved violence to Mr. Onions are too spicy and throws him out the house. Celebration time. Chi-Chi does the right thing and breaks things off with little handsome country boy number 1, so the 2 Bobbies can be one. And Virgil wife beater Coquest runs into Debadale Dick Dillard at a bar as they bond over their hatred for Vita off screen. But we didn't need Virgil anyway, because Carol Ann can repair the car. And so she does. And they can get going at any time, but they remain for the Strawberry Social later that day, where the 2 antagonist dude bros pull up and Diller demands the presence of the drag queens who wronged him to come out. Instead of just bum rushing in there, since, Virgil knows what room they're staying in. But hey, it leads us to this pretty great Spartacus scene. I'm a drag queen too. And so made horrendously uncomfortable and confronted by the flamboyancy of the townspeople, Diller does not know what to do and so escapes the situation, thus diffusing the conflict. And an even more unreasonable circumstance happens when Virgil comes over, smiles, and is all like, I accept this as my fate, I'm leaving now. Like, okay, R-rated movie. We're not going to talk about anything of the realistic tendencies of what would happen off the screen once these drag queens leave and that man comes back. I think they made things a little bit worse for Carol Ann. It's dangerous. Men are trash. But thus, the strawberry circles can now begin. Let the dance sequences begin. And my favorite part about this movie is there's many dance numbers. But during times when movies were made, some movies actually took the extra effort to include something in the scene that would actually be playing the movie music that they're dancing to. Here, they're just fucking dancing. There ain't no speaker in sight. How Virgil's hearing this on the inside, don't worry about it. So, we gotta get that good Bollywood dance number in. And at the end of the social, the three drag queens say their goodbyes to the town, wishing them well, as Vida gives her stolen motivational portrait of Julie Newmar to Carol Ann, symbolizing their friendship as she drives off to make it in time for the pageantry contest of drag queening in California. So we cut down to the end, to the final act of character development, where Chi-Chi's character has gone from a boy in a dress to a drag princess to
the winner of this year's Drag Queen of America contest, Miss Chi-Chi Rodriguez.
How did she win the contest if she was never really a contestant and the other two were? I don't know. Maybe Vida gave her spot. But the movie is over now. And did you enjoy it? I enjoyed it. I give it a solid 6 out of 10. I give myself a 5. Confronts the leisurely... Confronts the leaning... Confronts the leaning leery leechers, taking them out. Confronts the leery leechers.